What's up? What's up? Really? Where's he? At the front? Okay. Is his fab at the front? I can get him.
I'll give you the
Hi, mate. Good? That's why we're training. Good. Really good. Yeah? Yeah, mate.
Grange TV?
Grange TV, shout out. Grange TV. What's the meme we're doing?
Grange TV.
Justin, man. Justin's the man.
Justin's the man. We're memeing it.
How are you enjoying Fight Week?
Man, loving it, eh? The
Yeah?
buzz, like you can feel the buzz. I feel like shadow boxing every morning.
The anticipation of just a week building up is crazy.
Yeah, loving it, man.
It's getting more and more intense each day.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
I don't know how the fuck you do it.
Yeah, it's but it's funny. It's like today and tomorrow, it kind of like the buzz is really up here, but then it starts to settle down now because everyone's cutting weight. It's kind of quiet. Then you make the weigh-ins, and it's rehydration. And this is personally like it feels quieter, but then as soon as fight day starts, it's fucking crazy. It's we'll see it. There's no more anticipation. It's there.
How did you feel after the open workout yesterday? That was a buzz, eh? That was
Yeah, it was good.
fucking buzz. The amount of people there and that.
Yeah, it's good. I feel that. You guys want to get underneath this camera there? Can you scoot under this camera? Yeah. Cool.
Sorry, guys.
Grange TV prime location.
Let us know when you're ready, Christian. So Rob, probably one of the greatest UFC embedded moments the other day when you said you were taking off upstairs for a nice afternoon. How was that for you?
Taking off
You
upstairs.
said you were done with media duties, you're going to go upstairs to your room now.
Oh yeah. No, I love just being able to go upstairs and just relax and unwind. You guys feel the week. The week's pretty crazy. So to be able to just go into my little cell and unwind is pretty good.
What's it been like? Like I remember UFC 193, you were sort of in the middle of the card, the very same stadium. And here the whole show's been built around you. What's the lead up been like? Is this arguably the biggest sort of fight week that you've ever sort of come across as far as media duties and all that kind of stuff?
To be honest, fight week last time was pretty big. It just didn't cross the line, unfortunately. But I guess in a sense, like ever since I became the champ, there's a lot more hype. I've always gotten a lot of attention whenever I've fought in Australia, so it's kind of comes with the territory.
You've sort of lately been getting a lot more of your personality out there, obviously with Grange TV. You're doing a speaking tour with like a lot of dates as well. You've even got a documentary crew following you around. They're doing a Warrior documentary. Why sort of now the time? Is that something that's important to you to sort of get more personality out there and let everyone know what kind of guy you are?
You've got to strike while the iron's hot. 0 point trying to get my personality out there when I quit fighting.
Is that something that you thought about during sort of in between fights, that when I come back I really sort of want to make the most of this and sort of let people know who I am, bring the camera crews in, do all this kind of stuff? Because I felt like you felt like that before, but not as much when you were sort of fighting in the UFC.
Honestly, it's been a natural, like an organic progression there. The reason why I didn't do it earlier was because I wasn't ready earlier. This is the time I feel like I can start to develop these sort of skill sets and let people in because of where I'm at personally. So yeah, I guess it's just the right time.
Mental health has been sort of a big topic of this fight card because there's a bunch of fighters on the card who came out and spoke about it, but then they kind of always refer to the fact that the champ Robert Whittaker came out and spoke about mental health. And that kind of makes us feel better because he's headlining this thing. So we can kind of talk about it as well. I mean, how does that make you feel? It's almost an immediate effect after that episode of Grange TV that you did.
Yeah, it wasn't my intention at the time. My intention was just to get out there and just, I guess, become more comfortable with myself. But, I'm very, very, very happy that I've made people more aware of it. I've made people aware that it happens to everybody. Everybody's got it. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't play favourites. That he's fought a lot? Nah, not at all. It's it doesn't bother me. I'm just really pumped to be getting back in there and getting to work. I could take 10 years off and you put me in an octagon with another man and I'm going to go warrior mode. That's just what happens. You put me under the lights, you put me under pressure, and I come through. That's what I do. We'll see. I'm going to take the fight wherever I want to. If I feel the takedown's there, I'll take it.
What do you think about the situation?
I don't think about it. And I think that annoys him more.
You said something the other day, I think it was the MMA Junkie, where you said if you felt that it was personal at any point, you would have taken care of it personally. What did you mean by that?
You can take it any way you want, mate.
Middle of the night, guys with baseball bats.
I'm not going to say anything.
I feel like now that the stadium's pretty much sold out and it's almost time to fly, that we put this whole Australia versus New Zealand and this whole this thing's personal thing to bed and sort of just focus on the fight now that the tickets have been sold. The sort of narrative that the UFC has pushed going into this fight.
The UFC are going to push anything they need to sell tickets. Okay? But me personally, it was never a country versus country. It was me versus Izzy. Great fighter versus great fighter. And that's how it always was going to be.
Do you feel like in some ways this is sort of like a comeback story for you, almost redemption? This sort of like what's happened with you being away from the fight, coming back from the surgery, all that kind of stuff. Do you feel like it's kind of like a redemption story?
It's funny. I've heard several reporters and media and stuff mention the word comeback. It's like, where did I go? I was only gone for about 14 months. I went to fight in February. Just unfortunate circumstances happened. But it's not like I retired and disappeared or said I'm done. I've always been here, mate. I've been training, I've been competing. Never left.
We know Israel's an elite striker. How do you plan to mitigate that this weekend?
I'm a pretty good striker myself. I guess we'll find out how good I am.
You're going to go strike for strike with him?
We'll see. I don't. Me personally, I don't believe in. I don't take pride into the octagon. I don't need to be proud like, I'm going to make this a striking match to prove to everybody. Nah, I'll fight any way I have to get the win.
Your coach Alex Pryor sort of said that you're almost like a GSP 2.0, almost saying that you're more comfortable on the ground. You just haven't seen a whole lot of it. Do you think there's any truth to that?
With that article, it was kind of mistranslated. So it's a little inaccurate, but because Alex is a huge fan of GSP. He's a huge fan of GSP. But I don't consider myself a GSP 2.0. I aspire to be like GSP. I think he's one of the best fighters to have ever lived. I think he's the most complete fighter to have ever lived. And I'm a huge fan of his as well. But I have ground game. Don't worry about it. I'll use it when I want to.
Is it validating for you? Like you've always said, you can only be who you are. You're not a trash talker. You're not kind of in this new school, selling fights kind of thing. Is it validating to see just how many tickets have been sold if you're selling at a stadium like Marvel, being who you are, being that? I know you don't call yourself a nice guy, but is that a sense of validation for you? You did it your own way.
The whole thing about doing it my way means I don't need validation. The tickets are going to be sold. I let my actions do the work for me. Every time I step into the octagon, it's an exciting fight. The buzz is there. Everybody comes. Everyone loves the fight. So it's always going to sell tickets because people want to watch me fight. I'm just being me. I want to be the guy. I want to be the type of guy that my kids in 5-10 years time look me up on YouTube and don't cringe.
Bro, at the open workouts, I noticed
two types of fans, viewers. You got the Reaper Nation fans, and you got the Bobby Knuckles fans.
Yeah.
Now, I'm from the podcast that popularized the Bobby Knuckles nickname, and I know you didn't love it at first. I'm curious, when you start selling a few t-shirts and you make a few bucks, does it change your perspective on the nickname?
It's not that I didn't love it. It's that I didn't want to change my fight name, but I also didn't want it to pick, I wanted to see if it would pick up by itself. You know, because as soon as I would have said, oh, I don't like the name Bobby Knuckles, everyone would have called me Bobby Knuckles. So I just let it organically progress to the point where I realized it's sticking. So I own it.
Well, I saw, the image of, I believe it was your daughter wearing the Bobby Knuckles t-shirt,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, as time goes by and everything, are you like, okay, man, this is all right?
It's cute. I don't mind either nickname. They're both good. Like Bobby Knuckles was an organic one. Reaper I made. So, but they're both me, and I'm happy with them.
Just on that nickname, the Reaper, are you the kind of guy that believes in sort of like alter egos? Like some fighters have them, right? Like Mike Tyson said that Mike Tyson was a mortal man, but Iron Mike was sort of indestructible. Deontay Wilder goes in the ring and he's the bronze bomber. He's not Deontay Wilder anymore. And there's a stark contrast when you see yourself today, laid back, and then in the cage with that intensity. Are you the kind of guy that believes in alter egos in any way?
No, I don't. I think there's switches. I think there's when I enter the octagon, I'm still me. It's just I'm just showing a different side of me, and I don't take a new name or anything. But when I get in there, I know I go cold. I know the warrior in me comes out, and that's just he's there to stay.
How do you hit that switch? Is it something that happens during fight week? Is it during the warm up on fight night? How do you sort of get that warrior out?
It's natural. My body knows when it's time to fight. It gets ready.
Got Paulo Costa and Tony all the way here, and you're after that Yola Romero win. Just quickly, what did you think of this performance against Yola Romero, a guy that you've obviously beaten twice?
I think it was a great performance. I think it was a hard fight. It was crazy. They both threw super heavy leather at each other. So it was a great fight.
Have you run into him at the hotel at all? Have you guys spoken at all? I mean, it seems to me like he's going through. He's said to us that he sort of isn't the biggest Israel Adesanya fan. So I'm just wondering if you guys have sort of traded words and had any conversations.
No, I haven't run into him yet.
Rob, you mentioned it before, but is wrestling your key to victory, or do you think you can beat him that way?
I think I can beat him anywhere. I think I'm just the better fighter. I think I'm the more complete fighter. I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to be me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my thing.
And do you expect the crowd to be right behind you?
Of course. This is Australia. This is where I live.
And obviously, the NRL grand finals are tonight. Who's going to win?
My team's not in it, so I don't care. Any questions, Eli?
They're all hitting up questions.
Oh. Cool.
The Anaheim interview with Major T-shirt.
Oh, thank you very much.
Down the bottom.
Thanks to you pulling Dennis up for his mispronunciation of the word anime.
The ball guy can be you, but it's supposed to be.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hey, how you doing?
UFC is marketing this as Australia versus New Zealand. Is that how you see it?
Nah, it's me versus you. Cool, that was quick.
Can I just get them socks over?
Don't do that. Speed's gonna kill me.
Top 5, yes. Representing the UFC.
Oh man, gonna hide these bad boys. Who is babe? Yeah.
Good, it's me.
Yeah.
What's up?
That's good.
Can we get some Reaper socks like up here? Throw those out.
Nah, they're cool, man.
I just forgot to pack anything. I didn't even pack my bags. You did, Sophia.
I did. So my fault.
Yeah.
I'll take it. It's on my back, guys. Well, can I please get you to just pump up fight? Obviously, introduce yourself. We don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Just pump it up.
Sure.
All right?
Sure.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. 1, 2.
Hey guys, Rob Whittaker here. If you don't know, I'm fighting on Sunday. Make sure you tune in or watch or come.
Thank you so much. Perfect.
Well, it was fun.
Forgot when you were fighting. Yeah. Usually a Saturday in the States.
Well, everyone's been saying Saturday. Every interview, because I've had a lot of like US media, so every interview is like Saturday.
Face off. I know you've been saying things aren't personal, but it looked pretty heated. I think you kind of shook your head when you walked away from him. What was going through your
I
mind?
didn't shake my head.
No?
Nah, it's Have you seen my face-offs? They're always like that.
Yeah.
Because he's an enemy at this point. I walk onto the stage and I'm looking at my enemy. I don't smile. Oh, good. Thank you, brother.
Nice to see you again, mate. How's it going? Good. Hey, so we talked a little bit about last time about the rise of the Kiwi fighter, the rise of the Australian fighter. Can you tell us what that comes down to and why we've done so well so recently?
Who's we? You said Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, both fighters have done it. Yeah.
I think, as countries as a whole, we've always loved combat sports. We've had a lot of great combat athletes come out of New Zealand and Australia. So, I think it was inevitable. Like the path was always going up.
And looking at there's 3 CKB boys on this fight. Obviously, that's quite good for a small gym like that. What do you say is the rise there? Why do you think they've done so well so far?
I think that's fantastic. I think it's great. I think the fact that more fighters are coming out of New Zealand and Australia can only be a good thing. Let's take over the world.
Yeah, obviously it's a card full of Australian, full of New Zealand fighters. What are you expecting on the night, and what are you expecting these guys to show the world?
Honestly, I just expect all the boys on the card to show their heart. Not to win or lose or draw, like just to get out there and show their heart, show where they're from and show why they're here.
Cheers, thanks.
How good does it feel to be back, Robert? It's been a long time since we saw you. How good does it feel to be back?
It feels great. I was a little bit back in February, but no, it feels good to be here at 110%.
It's interesting for me that you've talked about the Romero fight and taking time off since then, and of course Israel was in that war with Gastelum in his last fight. Do you feel as though he might be rushing to get back in there, like to have a fight with someone like you after a war like that, or is it kind of a personal thing?
Maybe he had a hard fight. I know personally that after I fought Romero the second time, I needed a bit of time off. He needed a bit of time off. It was a hard fight. So for me, I feel great. I've had a great amount of time off. I've received no head trauma. I'm super healthy, and I look forward to getting in there.
What do you think of Israel as a challenge? Romero was the boogeyman, right? You've beaten him twice. It's a different one in the sense that he's very hyped. But is that the same kind of? Do you feel it's as a similar challenge in terms of just as an opponent?
Definitely. I think every fight that I have is the biggest threat to my career. Every fighter that I've fought has had a chance to take it away from me, and I'm going in there hungry, and I'm not going to let them take anything.
I feel like you're criminally underrated. When I see how good you are in there, I feel like people have kind of put a lot of shine on Izzy ahead of this fight, and kind of look at what this guy's done at middleweight already. Do you ever feel like that?
Sometimes, but to be honest, I don't really care. They'll work it out sooner or later.
It does feel as though because he has so much momentum at the moment, it is a very valuable win for you in the sense that, he's generated so much hype and stuff like that. Do you see it like that as well? You're going to take that value from him if you have your hand raised?
Haven't thought about it really because before I step in there, it's 50-50. I could lose, I could win. As long as I'm doing the right things beforehand, I can move into doing the right things after. So for me, the result of the fight doesn't really matter. It's about the journey and doing the right things before it.
I recently saw a very candid interview with you on Grange TV where you opened up about your struggles with depression.
Yeah.
Is that an ongoing process? Do you feel like that's something that you will have to just continually work on throughout your life?
Yeah, of course. You have to be aware. I have to be aware of it. That was one of the best things for me was becoming aware of it and being able to identify it. And it's something I will always have to be aware of and just be on top of.
Does it feel good to open up about it? Do you feel like that was therapeutic in any kind of way to come out and kind of acknowledge it publicly?
Yeah, it was very therapeutic to be able to just discuss it. And you know what? It wasn't my intention, but a lot of people took you know, a good message from it, and it helped them. So I'm very happy with the result.
I was really intrigued listening to you speak about Habib and his wrestling. You know, you seem to be really intrigued by it yourself. It seems to have really, like, you were so excited talking about it. Are you still like a fanboy at this, like at some level? You know, when you're watching a performance like that, does it get you excited?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a huge fan of Habib. Like, I think he's phenomenal, honestly. And yeah, I think what he does is crazy. I think his skill set is amazing. I think his cardio and endurance is ridiculous. I think he's amazing. Huge fan.
Do you think that's because, like, you came in as kind of known as a striker, and then obviously everyone's talking about your resume now with wrestling and how good you've come with that? Is that why you think you like watching Habib so much, because he's a masterclass really as a wrestler?
No, you know what I like about him more than anything you said is the fact that, one, he's a straight character. You know, I really admire and respect that. But two, everybody knows what he's going to do. Every single person, and no one can stop him. I think that's phenomenal. No. No. No less friction than any enemy of mine.
So you talked about your body being 110%, you're feeling good. Talk us through your prep and if you're focusing on anything different.
So straight after the surgery, obviously I had an extensive like rehab session, rehab block that I had to like slowly get back into and just build my body back up, build my strength back up, build my health back up. And after doing so, I just jumped back into the sessions. I just trained, putting session away after session. And honestly, it was just, I've made some great leaps and bounds, massive improvements. Everybody can see at the open workout yesterday, I'm faster, I'm stronger, I'm bigger. And yeah, I look forward to getting in there Sunday.
So without giving too much away, what can we expect from you?
Fireworks, absolute fireworks.
And Marvel Stadium, we're looking to see the biggest crowd possibly in Australia, let alone UFC history. How excited are you to do that in Australia here?
Yeah, I love making history. And to be making history here in my home country, you know, top of the world.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thanks.
Robert, talking about the open workout, why did you decide, there's some fighters, they go like 10%, 20%. Yeah. I don't know if you went 100%, but that was a good workout.
Yeah.
Why put so much effort for that when a lot of the fighters are like,
I think one, I felt like just putting a session in, and two, a lot of people came out to see me. They hung around the whole time, and they waited up just to see me. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do a 2-minute workout. All these guys that stood there the whole day, there were people fainting because they've been there so long. So I thought I'd put a decent workout.
Do you anticipate Israel getting a frosty reception? You know, when he walks out, like, I mean, do you anticipate to have like a raucous kind of home crowd reception when you go out?
Oh, 100%. He'll have fans. He has heaps of fans. But this is my home turf.
That's new terrain for him to a certain degree, right? Because he has been this fan favourite since he came to the UFC. If there was any kind of hostility, do you think that would kind of mess with his mindset ahead of a fight like this?
Who knows? I don't know him well enough.
When you watch, I'm sure, when you watch the Izzy versus Gastelum fight, when you come out of that, did you as a fighter, you go, oh, there's lots of holes, or were you like, oh, that guy is really good?
No, honestly, I thought I wasn't that impressed, to be honest, because I thought it would be much more one-sided just due to the physical differences between him and Gastelum. He has a height and reach advantage, and he's a striker. You know, he's a great striker. He's got great timing. So when he got touched up in the first and second round, I was like,
What were you impressed with, if anything, though?
Oh, I've been impressed with Israel since he got on the scene. Like before that, when he was kickboxing, I think his striking is phenomenal. I think his timing is impeccable. I think the way he uses his physical advantages in his striking game is great. But yeah, I do. I think he's a good fighter, a really good fighter.
The animosity that seems to be there is mostly on his side, right? Like most of the conversation is coming from him in terms of stirring up some emotions between you two guys. Do you feel like as that's fake in any kind of way? Do you feel like it's fabricated? Because even now you're speaking about city kickboxing and him with a lot of respect, you know?
Yeah, no. It's never been personal for me. Like, I've never tried to make it personal. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about like him or anything else that surrounds him. I'm doing me. I'm doing my story. This is my journey, and I have a lot to focus on as it is. I'm preparing for a very hard fight with a great fighter, but I'm also doing other things. I'm opening up a new gym in Artarmon, which is after this fight, which is going to be great.
Congratulations.
Playing with the podcast, Grange TV. Shout out. but yeah, like I'm doing other stuff. I'm very busy. I'm a busy man.
And that just takes time away from things to have to invest energy into that?
Yeah, I don't have time nor the emotional capacity to deal with other shit.
Rob, I was curious. I think you were talking about when we walked up at the workout yesterday. I think people were really impressed by physically how you looked and then just the amount of time that you put in there. Was that important to you to kind of go out there and show the world that, look, I'm back. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm 100% here.
Mate, I never left. Like, I was gone. I haven't fought for about 14 months. And I almost fought in February. But like, yeah, I never left. But a big thing was there were a lot of people that waited up for me. And there were people fainting because they waited there that long. So I didn't want to give them 2 minutes of work. And two, like, I wanted to slip a session in. I felt great, felt good. I did it last time as well. Like I've always tried slipping in sessions.
Yeah. You said also, hey, listen, I'm going to make it up to you. I mean, clearly there's nothing you could have done about February, but I mean, is there like a level of guilt or that you owe the fans something that you weren't able to fight then?
I don't feel guilt for it. It's just something I want to do. I'm not. I don't lose sleep over not fighting because I almost died. But to be able to fight here, bring the crowd back in, and to put on a more anticipated fight, it's a great feeling.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, there was a potential that this fight was going to happen in Vegas. Still would have been a big fight, right? But I mean, to do it here, to do it in the stadium, is this like a special moment in the career?
Definitely. This fight, in this atmosphere, in this arena, with these numbers. One, I'm making history, and two, this is a huge milestone for me. This is something I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to defend the belt here in Australia, and I'm doing that.
Yeah, you fought some absolute beasts in your career. I mean, this kid is still, well, he's older than you, so I guess calling him a kid is wrong, but he's still up and coming a little bit. Where do you think he ranks? I mean, I know you say he's my toughest because he's next, but really, when you break down the skill set, is he as tough as the other guys you've been in there with?
I think he's super deadly. I think he's a very talented and great fighter. But hell, I'm still up and coming. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So, I am more excited for how I come out of this fight, for the work that I'll put in after this fight, to the fighter that I'm going to become from this fight. Because every year I'm getting better. Every year I have harder fights, and I've got a lot of years left in me.
Yeah. He's talking about he's going to go on and face John Jones and all kinds of things like that. I mean, when things go your way on Sunday, what do you see as the future for you? Is there, lost time to make up? Are you a two-division champion kind of guy, money fights? I mean, what do you see for your future?
Obviously, I'm not looking past Israel. He's a very hard opponent, and honestly, it's going to be a very hard fight, and I know this, and I'm preparing for this. I've prepared for this. But the only sure thing that I know after this fight is that Monday I'm going to go home and see my kids. That's it.
Nice. I see a lot of people pointing to the Gastelum fight, saying, look, Gastelum didn't quite get it done, but he did a lot of things that Rob can do. Did you look at that fight and say, yeah, there's the spots I need?
100%. If Gastelum can do that much work, I can. I like to think I've got a better skill set than Gastelum. I think I have a better skill set than Izzy. So, yeah, let's just see how it goes.
Yeah. Overall, I mean, in your head, I know you said you always prepare for a war, but how do you see this thing going? I mean, do you see spots that you can get this done early, or do you feel like this is going to be a drawn-out battle?
I don't think he's going to be able to withstand the heat that I bring. I'm not looking to finish him. I'm looking to drag this into a 5-round war. I'm going to drag him into the trenches. No way Gastelum did, but better. So let's see if he wants to leave early.
Cool. And if you weren't fighting MMA now, what do you think you'd be doing?
Be a terrible Sparky. That's probably what I'd be doing. Like a pretty shit electrician. But who knows? When I decided to take my MMA full time, I was playing rugby league still. So you know, and I was much better at rugby league than I was at fighting.
So what flipped the switch? What enabled you to become the fighter that you have become now?
I don't know. I just kept doing it, and then honestly, the biggest switch for me into like my current run was meeting Fabricio Whittaker, high performance coach. He was pretty instrumental in just coordinating everything I'm doing. So that was pretty big.
What level did you get to in rugby league? Where
Made a couple of development squads, but nothing beyond that.
For who, sorry?
Cronulla.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you play with any of the guys that went on to play senior footy?
I can't remember.
So let's get footy out of the way. I've got one question. My brother texts me, he goes, I've got grand final tickets. I'm like, where do you think I am? You got a prediction, mate? Obviously that's going to go down maybe a couple of hours after your fight, the NRL grand final. Do you just
My team's not in it, so I haven't been paying attention. As soon as my team left, I was like, it's done for me. Season's over.
It is, yeah. So now you talk about your kids a lot, and one of my favourite things you always say, mate, is you're not here to be a role model for anyone. You're here to be a role model for your kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, how hard is that? You know, in a sport like this, with all this attention, you know, you've 50,000 people going to walk through the building. How hard is it to keep a level head? You know, not played up for the money. It's not, for me, it's not that hard, because I know I'm nothing special. I'm just good at a particular skill set, and yeah, that's it. Like, I don't think I'm better than I am, you know. And how's pathways going, mate? I always like to ask you about Aboriginal pathways and those things racing.
Yeah.
Obviously doing that at the TAFE.
The GAP program is going sensational. It's I saw some of the kids, some of the class just before I left. I look forward to jumping on the mats with them when I get back.
That's awesome. And you went over to New Zealand. Are you looking to do similar things like that over there, or?
Yeah, it's in the cards. It's in the works. I would like to get out to New Zealand to try to bring education out to like some of the remote communities out there, but for the Māori instead. But I guess we're running a lot of different things. Like I myself personally would like to get my teaching quals so that I can actually have a hand in teaching. At the moment, I'm running just mentor. I'm kind of being a mentor role at the moment, but I would like to get into teaching, or a more hands-on approach. Maybe opening up my own education centre. We'll have to wait and see.
How important is it to have that life balance between obviously training really hard and having things like the gym and the GAP program as well?
Yeah, I think it's super important. People, it's very easy, and I see a lot of fighters fall into this trap to think that fighting is everything, to think that their whole life is fighting, to think that their whole identity is fighting, when it's not. It is a small slither of your overall life and an overall person. You know, some guys may fight for 10 years. You know, there's a lot of life left.
And how hard is it tonight? Obviously, Jakey's fighting over there on Eternal. He's probably your main training partner.
And Izzy.
And Izzy, of course. And like, what's that like for you? Are you going? Are you just focusing on yourself? Or like?
Yeah, Jake and Malcolm, Izzy Docs. Guarantee you they'll be in the UFC within a couple of years. Maybe, I think within the year, to be honest. But I want to be there for them, but I can't. You know, they know that too though. It's like today is, like the weight cut's tomorrow morning early. So I'm kind of cutting weight today. So they know that. But they'll be there, my coaches are there. It's great that we all get to fight the same week in Melbourne. It works out really well for all of us. But yeah, you know, my heart's with them and they know that.
Adesanya says he expects you to resort to some wrestling at some stage. Yeah. How deep are you going to have to delve into your bag of tricks to beat this guy?
I don't have heaps of tricks. I'm kind of like a 1-2 sort of guy. So yeah, you know, if I see a takedown, I'll take it. You know, if I can kick him in the foot, I will. Like, it's just, I'm going to do what I have to get this win.
Rob, yesterday at the open workouts, you gave like a really prolonged performance, 30 minutes. You kind of went into beast mode there. Was that intentionally to show something to the fans, or was that to send a message to him that you're not here to play games? He's all smiling and you seem to be a much more serious person this week.
No, one, it was because like I wanted to give the fans something, because they all hung around the entire day to watch me. It was late. It was like dark outside. There were people fainting from having to stay out so long. So I wanted to stay there and and give them a show. I didn't want to do 2 minutes and leave after they waited there all day. And two, I just felt like doing a session. I felt good. I wanted to move around a little bit, wanted to hit some mitts. That was my session for the day. I didn't have to train later.
One of the main things I've seen online in response to that is when you take your shirt off, you're looking pretty jacked at the moment.
Yeah, I'm yoked right now.
Is that just a new training regimen? What's going on?
No, this is the most I've trained outside of a fight. Like this, I've just been so consistent. I've had such a strong prep. You know, hats off to Justin Lang. He's just sculpted me into this monster right now.
He's had 5 fights in the time that you've not fought there. Does that give him any kind of advantage in terms of activity?
Maybe, or maybe it's a disadvantage because he's fought so much. Fighting's tiring, man.
You've done these competitions, you did grappling contests, stuff like that. How much importance do you put on that just to keep your competitive spirit going, even though you've been out of the cage?
Super important because when you compete, there's a different level of intensity. There's the adrenaline dump. Almost more so in those smaller comps because coming into a jiu-jitsu comp or a wrestling comp, I come into them as the champ, as the middleweight champ, and everyone wants to kill me. And everybody expects me to win. But I don't win. I'm out there just trying to compete and have a good crack at it. So, you know, it's just a different look, and I think it's great.
Your coach said earlier this week in the interview with Submission Radio that this New Zealand versus Australian thing is kind of a bit bullshit, and that's kind of promotion. Do you agree?
Yeah, it is. It is because I was born in New Zealand. You know, I've always carried both flags with me. But yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
I think when people look at this fight with the build-up, obviously there's a rocket ship behind him right now. It kind of reminds some people, including myself, of Darren Till versus Tyron Woodley, this contender. They're really getting behind the champion, just sort of reminds everyone actually he's champion for a reason. Do you feel the same way?
Honestly, I just know that if I put this guy away, then I'm happy.
Do you think, this is kind of like a shit-stirring question, but do you think the UFC would rather him win?
Who knows? To be honest, I don't know. The UFC, I can't begin to imagine what the UFC are thinking. They do crazy shit all the time.
That's fair. Okay, cheers.
You're right, mate.
Last question from me, mate. Obviously, you're a gamer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I'm playing Dota 2 for a while. I've got to get off it. What's the newest game that you're looking at maybe to get into?
Doom. I've been smashing Doom lately.
What do you mean? What was your go-to before that?
Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the online games. They're fun. They're great fun.
They keep you humble. Like the 14-year-old kids get on there and give you crap.
It's not that it keeps me humble. It gives me an escape. It makes me not worry about dieting and training and fighting and money, and I just go in the game and I can throw fucking fire.
Well, just on the Australia versus New Zealand thing, do you ever get sick of trying to explain to people that you're carrying both flags?
Oh no, they're just doing it to sell tickets, honestly, and it's a good catch. It doesn't. I know what I'm doing. My family knows what I'm doing. Like, I don't lose anything.
You mentioned earlier in the year that you're looking at setting up these training camps for jiu-jitsu schools around Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
Has there been any more progress on bringing that to
Yeah, so we're running the GAP program right now, and it's been super successful. Like I saw the guys last week, and you know, I look forward to jumping on the mats with them next week. Next week. But I would love, and we're in the talks of moving that into the space in New Zealand of some of the remote communities out there for the Māoris. It'd be really good to get out there and do that.
You did qualify once to wrestle for Australia at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
You ever look at that, or even Olympic Games down the track?
Oh, you know, I would have loved to have wrestled for the Commonwealth Games and you know, just competed at a higher level in those harder competitions just to get looks. But obviously MMA is my sole focus, so it's very hard for me to commit to those things.
It took a long time for UFC to formally confirm the card was going to be here in Melbourne. How important was it for the UFC 243 to be here?
Yeah, for me, a lot, because it's always been a goal of mine to defend the belt here in Australia, and especially after the last way I had to pull out the last fight, I wanted to come back to here in Melbourne in specifically. So yeah, it means a lot to me to be here.
I guess the sense that you'd like to find Sydney this company, but I guess they say after last time with the Marble Stadium, there's nowhere better in the whole world than here.
No, this is going to be the biggest fight ever. Biggest numbers. It's the most anticipated fight. It's going to be so big for the sport down here, so big for the fans.
What positives could you take away from UFC 234? Obviously, it was heartbreaking, but there's normally some positives.
I didn't die. You know, that's a blessing, that one.
It's quite a big thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Israel, he's been going back and forth a little bit with Paulo Costa, with John Jones. Do you think there could be a distraction?
It looks tiring. I don't know how the people do that. I don't know how people go on their phones and look at what other people are saying and be like, what the fuck that? And then they start going back, and it's so tiring. Like, I'm tired anyway. I don't have time or energy for that stuff.
He looked very relaxed yesterday in his warm-up, whereas yours was an open workout. Yours was very intense, very long. How important was it for you to put in a message there?
It wasn't a message. I just wanted to get a workout in, give the fans a bit of a show for coming out the whole day.
How have the preparations in general been going?
Great. Look at me. I look amazing. Can't wait.
You look pretty buff.
You've said that you don't like seeing your opponents before a fight. Has it been difficult seeing posters of UFC 243 around the whole Australia?
Yeah, it's a little annoying, but it comes with the territory. Like, I expect that, especially in the city we're fighting.
So it hasn't been any. You haven't had to like avert your eyes.
No, I'm not that bad. Gee whiz.
As I said before, he's been involved in narratives with a bunch of different fighters, including Stipe Miocic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that, but
I didn't.
Do you think that he's looking past you at all?
No, I don't think he's looking past me. He just seems to have I don't know, just doesn't like a lot of people. I don't know.
Very good. Middleweight.
You know what, mate? Thank you.
Middleweight is deeper than it's ever been. Paulo Costa, Cannonier coming up, Gastelum. Do you see the next year or two as being very busy if you get past this on Sunday night? Do you want to clean out the division before, do you want to clean out the division?
Yeah, I want to fight everybody. Why not? Every year's busy, mate. Before this newer generation, if you would, there was another one, and I got through them. So let's see.
Earlier last year, you spoke about fighter pay in an interview with the Sydney Morning Herald. Is that something that you fighter pay?
I spoke about it.
Yeah, and on your podcast as well. Is that something that you're still keeping up with in the news with the antitrust lawsuit? Is that something that you're still talking about and advocating for?
I would like more fighter pay. I think that would be great. Not only for myself, but for a lot of the up-and-coming fights. Like guys breaking into the UFC can barely focus on just training, and this is the highest level of fighting. I don't see how that's even a thing.
Yeah. Do you see yourself as having an advocacy role to improve fighter pay and conditions long term?
Mate, I'm just one man. I'm speaking about it, which is something, but I'm just one man. I think it'll take like a united front sort of to get any real movement, which is so hard in a sport where everybody hates each other.
Yeah. Have you kept up with the antitrust lawsuit, the hearings in Vegas?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, all good. Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. You're the pro on the Schmo.
How you doing?
I'm great. How you doing?
Very good.
This is the Schmo with the pro, with the UFC middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, the Reaper. How you doing?
Very good, mate. Very, very good.
Best nicknames in the game. Which one do you prefer?
I'm torn. Both.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay, the Schmo's just going to go back and forth between the two, man. Now, Israel Adesanya, he maybe fought the fight of the year against Gastelum. What's the takeaways that you're going to bring to your game that you saw in his weaknesses that give you the confidence?
If Gastelum can hit him, I can. Yes. But I'm not going to go away. I'm going to stay there and I'm going to keep putting in work.
Do you plan to expose him with some wrestling in this fight?
Maybe, we'll see. I have the wrestling game there. If I see a takedown, I'll take it.
He's been beefing with John Jones on Twitter and social media. John Jones said he's going to be reaching out to you for fighting, for training. Did he ever reach out to you to train with him?
Yeah, we spoke back and forth. It wasn't just after that. We spoke earlier before that. We keep in touch. But there's a slight problem, and that's like the 16-hour flight.
Yeah. So you guys didn't train together?
No, I live in Sydney.
Yeah. Maybe one day, man.
Maybe. It would be great. It'd be an honor to train with someone like that.
Yes, a lot of pressure for you on this fight. You got the entire country behind you, man. 16 months, we haven't seen you fight, man. Do you feel that pressure when you're entering the cage?
No, there's no pressure. Like, realistically, there's no pressure because win, lose or draw, I'm still going to go home and give my kids on Monday. No one's going to care. And a week from that, no one's going to be talking about my fight anymore. So, honestly, everyone's trying to build this hype and this pressure. And, yeah, it's a great event, but it's one day. It's one day.
One day. Final message for the Reaper fans out there worldwide.
Pay attention. This one's going to be exciting.
He's the pro. I'm the schmo. UFC 243 Media Day. We're out.
It's got energy. It's good energy.
Thank you, sir.
So I need to take some tips.
Yeah, you need to take tips, Eli. We need you like this. We need this energy from you.
We're in bed.
Do you mind if I grab a portrait of you over here before?
Let's go. Two questions here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sure. Hey.
3, 2, 1. Helen here with Eyes on the Game here, being joined by the man of the hour, Mr. Robert Whittaker. Now, you just faced off against Israel. What did you see in this fight?
Pupils, I don't know.
No, I mean, like, do you sense,
No, it's gonna. I can see him ready for a fight. I can see he's ready for a fight, but I don't think he's ready for this fight. I'm gonna bring a war to his doorstep.
Now, why do you say that? You don't think he's ready for this?
Because this is the best I've ever been. None of my opponents have been ready.
Now, what did you think about the reception of fans gave you yesterday during the open workout?
It was phenomenal. I wouldn't have, honestly though, I wouldn't have expected any less. I've seen them before. That's why I wanted to put a little show on for them because they stay up the whole day to see me. So yeah, it was great out there to have a little hit out and just.
Well, all your fans miss you. Now, lastly, you're coming off the 2 wars, the back-to-back fights against Yoel Romero. What did you think about his fight against Paulo, and do you think that Paulo won that fight?
It was a very close fight. It honestly could have gone either way. I thought maybe Yoel started getting it by the end, and I think he could have won. But honestly, it was on the fence. It could have gone either way. I'm happy with any decision. But yeah, I think it was a great fight.
Awesome. Well, all your fans are anticipating your return this Sunday. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cool.
Can we get it with the belt?
Can I give this to you? Give that to my wife when I'm in there.
Right, you're at the corner. Yeah, that'd be great.
Step.
Good job, Chris.
Just ever so fractionally off. Look with your body twist like that way slightly. And just look back and make it better until we go. Sorry, mate. Here we go. Last one, here we go.
good. I expect it to keep going.
Thanks a lot.
How you doing?
You well? Yeah, good. Yeah, you got easy. How are you? Yeah, really well, thank you.